People always ask me, they say, Trent, how do you keep your truck from touching trees? My name's not Trent, and if it was, I wouldn't know anything about that. This is my 85 Supra. Wow. And we actually have a lot of trophies for my ability to keep it between the ditches. Shit's slippery. In fact, we just got back from running Press On Regardless for the 3rd time. We didn't trophy this time. This year we ran into some problems. So today we're gonna take a look at the state of the car, see what all's broken, and figure what we need to fix to get back out there. That's not where coolant is supposed to go. Delicious. We're gonna start with the biggest and most glaring issue. See if we've got a blown head gasket. Man, this thing's heavier than it looks. I'm gonna leave it sitting there running for a minute. It's supposed to be warm to compression tests. Still ticking though. This thing overheated a lot. So the first night we made it to about 100 miles before it ran out of coolant. Once we started having to top it off, it was 40 miles, 35 miles, 30 miles, 27 miles, 20 miles. We're down to about 20 miles before it's out of coolant and starts overheating. So it's essentially undrivable. We're fully expecting to have a blown head gasket, but let's crack open the compression tester and see.
Need to let it warm up enough that it's an accurate compression test, but I assume you want to do the compression test before it starts overheating?
The thing is, it doesn't start overheating until it's completely out of coolant, and it should be good on coolant at the moment. So it can get up to temperature and it can maintain operating temperature 20, 30, 45 minutes until it's out of coolant and has dumped all of its coolant out the cylinders and out the exhaust, and then it starts overheating. It runs perfectly fine as long as it has coolant in it. Brake compressor, vacuum pump, flaring tool, harmonic balancer puller. Do not open upside down, it's really annoying. Thanks, past me, looking out for future me. That must have been really annoying that one time. Spring compressor, god damn it, scale. It's gonna be the last case I pull out of here. Plastic welder, compression tester. First try. Let's see, this thing overheating yet? Nope. It is almost up to temperature though, so we're good. You'll also notice that the fan is spinning right now because we locked it. We went ahead and locked up the fan so that it has no choice but to spin to help keep us from overheating. That was a good call. Our buddy Don up at POR, he came down from Canada to run POR, and turns out there was a fellow Supra guy there. A Supra guy who's actually a Supra expert, so maybe he'll come help me rebuild this motherfucker. Yep, we're good. Just gotta pull some spark plugs and I gotta read the directions. I don't open this case very often. There's nothing but disappointment in here. All right, I got the plug off of the coil, so all of the cylinders are no longer hot and we can test them one by one. I've got spark killed, but I'm checking to see if we need to kill a fuel pump as well. I think inside of this panel here, what the fuck is that? Don't mind that. I just be wiring things up. There's a lot of lights and stuff around here. I just be doing stuff. There's a fuse here that says EFI, ECD, so I'm gonna assume that that kills the fuel pump. And that'll keep the cylinders from filling up with fuel while we're turning it over. All right, let's get this plug out and see what cylinder one's doing for us. A little bit harder than it should be. I wonder how old these plugs are. And it is crispy.
Very black from here.
Yeah, I mean, we know it runs rich, but that's not that bad. Is it the polarized? Nah, that's fine. That's a good plug right there. There we go. That's threading. All right, got it all hooked up. Watch that gauge for me while I'm gonna hold the throttle all the way open and turn it over. It's gonna pump that gauge up. Just tell me what the biggest number it gets to is.
Just shy of 175.
Hell yeah, that's a good cylinder. So far, the record for lowest known compression on the property is 132 in the Prelude. I don't know who put the head gasket together on the Prelude. It was probably an asshole. We're done with the Valkyrie and the CRZ, so...
Baby.
What? It's gonna work. We gotta stop leaving things on the whiteboard forever. It's hard to erase them.
Is it hard to erase because it's been on there too long, or?
You accuse me of user error one more time. Supra. First number was what, 175?
I think it was like 173 or something. But
Close enough. Good. It's got good compression. That's all I care about. Number one's fine. What's next? Quiet down. I think the threads are grimy from where it used to leak like a lot of oil and it all seeped down in the threads.
if you know the head gasket is blown, why do you have to check all the compressions?
Just verifying. There could be some other funny way that coolant is getting into a cylinder, but like it would make me feel better to have identified exactly. All right, there's number 2.
175.
Hell yeah. 2 175s in a row. Next cylinder. Not stoked about that. We're down to the last one and haven't found an obvious culprit yet, so let's see what number 6 looks like. All right. That's not what we were expecting at all. We were fully expecting one of these numbers to be unhappy. I don't like the numbers I've gotten, so let's get my expert on the phone. Hey, man.
I'm Don from Windsor, Canada.
You got a pretty good Supra club up there in Canada?
Toronto Supra Club has been going for 30 years. They're a real solid group of guys.
Yeah.
Basically do rehabilitation on Supras. I don't like to do a lot of the nitty-gritty mechanical work, but if people get in over their heads on wiring or standalones or engine swaps, then...
Very cool. We're about to get in over our head over here. You're the technical expertise, and I'm the guy that breaks it. We're the perfect couple, like the person who hates pickles and the person who eats the pickle. I'm compression testing.
Yep.
I got numbers I don't understand. We wound up at 175, 175, 185, 190, 185, and 185. So that appears to all be within spec to me. The number I found was actually 165 plus or minus 7.
Yeah, so you're probably on a pretty healthy motor.
You think we could have a small enough leak that coolant is escaping into a cylinder, but like not really affecting compression?
It can be just very early and you caught it and you're aware of it, so you know that the head's got to come off at some point.
It's not like completely blown. It's like just blown enough that you can still run a 500-mile rally on it.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably at the early enough point that, like, even if it was a daily driver, you could probably just keep adding coolant to it and it's not an issue until that gets boring. So.
It's already gotten boring. We're down to about 20 miles between having to add, half a gallon and it's starting to overheat. So it is still head gasket, but just barely.
Yeah, you don't have any puddles or anything, so it's an internal coolant leak, right?
Yeah.
You're not seeing any chocolate milkshake in the oil?
Wait one.
Yeah.
I literally haven't checked the oil the entire rally. Well, what's on the dipstick looks perfect, and it's perfectly fine. Since we did the cam tower gasket, it hasn't leaked or burned anything. It's good on oil.
There's only one other way it can leak internally, and that's on the intake manifold to the head flange. So right down in there, under all that mess, it's a tiny little coolant port that keeps the throttle body and idle motor. That's the only other place that coolant can go.
So that's worth checking on the way in, but we still should be prepared to be going all the way to the head gasket.
Yeah, exactly.
Neat. I'm going to see what else is broken on this thing, and we're going to get a work list together, and it's going to be pretty freshly put together and squared away for next year. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'll be reaching out for specific parts recommendations and stuff once we get the work list whittled down a little bit. It's good to see you, man. I appreciate you. We'll holler at you later. Take it easy.
All right.
So we are going to continue to call it a blown head gasket. It can be just barely blown enough, and we caught it in time that it is letting coolant by, but nothing has been catastrophically damaged yet, aside from a couple of episodes of getting pretty hot. But it's a Toyota. It doesn't care about that. It's fine. I have other things to drive and children that need to go with them sometimes, so the Supra doesn't get driven much anymore. It's getting parked. What else do we need to do while it's parked? The next big thing on my list is making sure we don't bust an oil pan. If you look under the front of the car, you'll see that the oil pan just barely sits lower than the subframe. And that's not ideal. company called Rude Boy Specials. They make a set of engine risers that basically go under the motor mounts and lift the engine like ½ inch so that it sits above the subframe. And once it does that, we can build a skid plate. Right now, a skid plate would be thunking against the oil pan itself. So we need to get those engine risers and lift the engine, and then we can build a proper skid plate for it. And I want to do that also to correct our approach angle. When you're approaching steep ledges, rocks, whatever, there's a lot of stuff in front of tire. And a better approach angle would be really nice. Especially because that fog light, you know, on the front of the rally car that's supposed to do off-road stuff, it can't get up the trailer ramps without touching. So I had to build ramps for my ramps to get on my ramp trailer. And that makes it, you know, a lot more annoying to load it on the trailer. So that's pretty high on the list. Man, why is this thing so dirty? Still got to clean out all the rally stuff. We got traction boards that got tore up by the Prelude that time that Tyler put it into a ditch. Bunch of empty coolant and water jugs. You can tell this thing had a rough weekend, but it's worth it. Another thing we need to correct. Let me see if I can show you this. Yeah, that right there. Oh, you can rotate it while it's in there and recording? Neat. This Osmo Pocket 3 is dope. So there you see the shock body going up into the strut tower. Above it, that's a big hole going up inside of the car. And fun fact, this is where rocks get thrown. Rocks, dirt, water. Everything gets yeeted inside of that wheel well and goes right in through a rust hole at the top of the wheel well on both sides. So not only is the inside of all of my panels on each side probably full of various dirts and rocks and debris and probably rusting out even more from water getting flung in there, but it also causes a lot of road noise. You can hear the tires whining through those holes. So we need to get those holes patched, and probably some sound deadener on the inside of it would make it a much nicer thing to drive if it had less annoying noises. Race car noises are good. We like race car noises. Some of those noises are annoying. We want to get rid of some annoying noises. But all of this aside, these few things we've looked at, these are not keeping us from winning rallies. And I want to fix the thing that's actually making us not win. This is a Rabbit glow box. This is what gives us GPS signal. So when we're out running and trying to stay on pace on a stage, we've got to have GPS signal for that. And this box has proven unreliable. Looking at our precision on this run, it was bouncing around within 3, 5, 10 meters even. 10 meters I'm gonna call 30 feet. And a typical cast is, let's say 40 miles an hour. At 40 miles an hour, you're moving 60 feet per second. If your precision is off by 30 feet, that's half of a second. To consistently be off by that much, you can't be competitive. You can't win. You can't win if you're off with that much of a margin of error. So we are looking at alternatives. We haven't optimized our GPS signal. Vinny is a wizard and he knows how to do the electronic stuff. I'm gonna figure out how to keep it running, and Vinny's gonna figure out how to keep our GPS signal. Yep. So those are kind of the biggest things that are on the list for it right now. We are still planning to paint it soon and haven't really completely nailed in the livery we're going for, but if you want to see how it turns out and how all the rest of this goes, feel free to subscribe. Join the pit crew if you're like super into it. This group right here, put it here. Editor, behind the scenes footage, discounts at redhenracing.com, all of that. I'm not giving you a sales pitch. I'm not gonna beg you. It's not really smoking much visibly right now when it's not actively overheating, so watch me get the thumbnail shot with a little bit of help from Seafoam. I forgot how smoky Seafoam is. I haven't done that in a long time. I don't know why it does this to me. Why does it blow head gaskets? I treat it good. See you next time. Love you. Bye.